Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. Wanted to do a part two today of the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine. And again, we're kind of setting in day 109 of the ongoing conflict. And as you'll see here on the map, this really gives you more of a tactical view of the ongoing fighting that is taking place in the area, and kind of this triangle running from Sloviansk up to Severodonetsk, down to Bakhmut, and then back up to Kramatorsk. So the primary defensive positions, the strongest positions now for the Ukrainian forces right now, and their fallback lines of defense really are centered along Sloviansk, Kramatorsk, Bakhmut, and the M3 highway. And we do believe that eventually Ukrainian forces are going to have to withdraw at the risk of being completely enveloped by Russian forces. And you can see up here, kind of like in the eastern quadrant of the map, the northeastern quadrant, just kind of west of Lysychansk, you will see that there's quite a few Ukrainian combat brigades that right now are in this area defending against Russian forces. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Ukrainian combat brigades really at risk right now of being enveloped or destroyed in this ongoing Russian operation. And especially as the Russians continue to push out of Popasna, and both in a northeasterly and northern direction towards Lysychansk, and then obviously also looking to quite possibly continue to push in a westerly direction, maybe enveloping Bakhmut and cutting off the M3 highway, kind of that almost that northwest by southeast directional highway. And at the same time, at great risk right now in terms of Russian forces cutting off the main Bakhmut to Lysychansk highway as well. So incredibly, really bad position for the Ukrainians right now. It's difficult to kind of ascertain what a lot of these defensive positions look like. We do know that the Ukrainians face incessant shelling by Russian forces, which is really causing some issue for the Ukrainians to continue to resist Russian offensive operations. And specifically, right now, we have seen the Russians continue to push in the direction of Severodonetsk, and also pushing towards the Donets River that separate Lysychansk and Severodonetsk in these smaller towns on the the eastern bank of the Donets River. So, and the Russians are pushing again, kind of in a northwesterly direction along the western bank of the Donets River. So they clearly have crossed the Donets River here and are pushing up, looking to roll up eventually, and maybe circumventing Lysychansk around the outskirts of the town. Now, this is not a large town by any means. It has a smaller industrial zone than maybe what you would see in Severodonetsk, but Lysychansk is namely smaller, a lot of one-story individual housing units, so to speak, small houses. And there are also obviously apartment blocks like you would see in some of the bigger cities as well. But by no means is it a large town. And the Russians right now are looking to continue to press up and probably eventually surround these forces that may have some difficulty crossing back over from Severodonetsk into Lysychansk. And then again, up here in the Izum area of operations, we're continuing to see the Russians attempt to kind of push down along the M3 towards Sloviansk as well. So just as you look at this very, very difficult position for the Ukrainians at this point, and especially given the current tactics that are being utilized by the Russian armed forces. Again, once the Russians feel like they have the ability to conduct a major, or this is not a major, this would be a minor river crossing over the Donets River, we could really see things start to pick up for Russian forces in this area, given kind of the continued artillery preparation that is underway by Russian forces. But at the same time, there is a very, very large force construct of the Ukrainian armed forces in this entire area of operation. I mean, you run down all the way from Izum and along the whole line of contact. You got 3rd Tank Brigade, you have 81st Air Mobile, 95th Air Mobile Air Assault, 57th Motorized Rifle Brigade, 4th Tank Brigade, got the 503rd Independent Marine Battalion, 79th Air Mobile Air Assault Brigade, 128th Infantry Brigade, 58th Motorized Rifle Brigade, 15th National Guard Regiment, 27th National Guard Brigade, 4th National Guard Brigade, 111th Territorial Brigade, 17th Tank Brigade, 118th Territorial Brigade, 80th Air Assault Air Mobile Brigade, 24th Mechanized Brigade, Independent Battalion here, 30th Mechanized Battalion, and 46th Air Mobile Air Assault Brigade. So of these air mobile formations right now in this area, this Sloviansk, Severodonetsk, Bakhmut triangle, right now you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the Ukrainian fairly high-end air mobile combat elements, brigades, that have been assigned to this defensive operation in the Far East. So the real concern right now, especially for the Ukrainian army, if we kind of see this quickening of the conflict, where some of these units start to really run out of ammunition, and the ongoing casualty rate by Ukrainian forces continues at its current rate, eventually these forces are not going to be able to sustain themselves in the field, and ultimately you will see a breakdown in the cohesion of the command of this Eastern Command that is fighting the Russians, and then you could rapidly see this area come under the control of Russian forces, and that area would be running from the M3 highway just probably to the east of Sloviansk pretty quickly. And then that would open up, obviously, as these brigades probably would become fairly combat ineffective at that point. We would probably see the Russians obtain overall initiative and momentum in the ongoing conflict, and quite possibly a rapid advance by Russian forces in this area. And again, much of the combat power of the Ukrainian military, some of the best units, as I just talked about, are located in this area. So thus defeating those Ukrainian units in this area of the overall theater of operations would really hurt the ongoing Ukrainian war effort to a point where, as I talked about before, that's where you would see that general collapse in the overall ability of the Ukrainian forces to maintain a cohesive defense against Russian forces. So we'll have to continue to watch what happens, but I want to provide this map set just to kind of give you a better idea of the tactical situation that we're seeing on the ground. Have a good day, everybody.